Travis Wayne Goodzo. So, no Trump indictment today. And I had Stormy Daniels and the Forbes magazine all ready to go. Yep. Along with Mark Felt. Mormon. His Wikipedia page does not acknowledge him as Mormon. They're keeping it a sacred secret. Hilarious. So you'll have to wait. Now, in a video I did the other day, I brought up Orson Hyde and Brigham Young purposely knocked him back in the Quorum of Apostles so that he would not succeed Brigham upon his death, which was the next year. And in so doing, I brought up the council, the High Council of Joseph's organization. That was different than Brigham Young's Quorum of the 12 Apostles, which combined the High Council 12 and actually I think it was 24. Well, no, there was 24 that met and then it was 12. Yeah, 12, and then the missionary 12 apostles. And so Orson Hyde's Wikipedia page does not summarize him as being in the High Council. You have to read the text under church membership and service, where you go down, in which it says he then marched with Zion's Camp in 1834 and became one of the members of the first presiding High Council in Kirtland, Ohio. And then there's a hover over link. In the Latter-day Saint movement, there are two presiding High Councils. One said to be standing, the other traveling. No. No, not two presiding High Councils. One presiding High Council, and the other are traveling apostles. The traveling High Council is generally known as the Quorum of the 12 Apostles. Both councils, at least in theory, preside over the church. No. Get the LDS Church off of Wikipedia. Dear God. They cause so much damage, so much misinformation, so much rewriting of history. Dear God. They're just corrupt to the core. So, what they do have for the highlights of his callings is that he became an apostle February 15th, 1835. And then goes until he dies. But he was... They just lie. Oh my God. And so, also in February 15th, 1835, he was put in the Quorum of 12 Apostles. And this is section 107 where this is found. They were given licenses, and it was also involving the 70 under the Quorum of 12 Apostles. They're just missionaries. This was the missionary department. This is the mission president with the elders of the church. That's all it was. That's as high as it went with authority. It was Brigham, because he was the president when Joseph died, who exalted himself and his position. And so they went back in time to exalt the previous administration. And so you'll notice that it was only until May 4th, 1839. Which has me question. We're checking out Joseph Smith and the criminal justice system. So, yeah, Joseph Smith was indicted by a grand jury on the charge of treason in April 9th through 11th. So, 11th of April, 1839. And he supposedly, because this was all the Danites that set him up on this. Joseph was not guilty. Don't froth at the mouth, ex-Mormons. You're not watching my channel either. Let's see. After fleeing Missouri, I faced attempts to extradite him to Missouri in charge of treason and seditious conspiracy to commit murder. So hoping for today. Illinois officials... Smith was killed by a mob. You skipped. Oh my God. You covered 1839 to 44. So they're not really indicating where Joseph Smith was during this time period. Because I'm trying to figure out when he got back. He got back $1839. 2nd of July. Yep, 2nd of July. On the 2nd of July, 1839, Joseph is back and he's doing a discourse to the Quorum of 12, now under Brigham Young. So we do know Joseph was back and available July 2nd, 1839. It's in the Joseph Smith papers, confirmed, and Joseph Smith condemns Brigham Young. So, yeah. So 2nd of July. So this was still before Joseph is back. Okay? May 4th. Still 2 months away from when Joseph Smith gets back and deals with the Quorum of the 12 Apostles. And so this was not a vote by the church. That was not how it was done. It was the Council of 12, the High Council. And so they don't bring that up. If they're claiming it was a vote of the church, no, it was Brigham Young. Brigham Young booted him out. And so when Joseph Smith got back, we know he put him back in because there's the section that 1841 indicates that he's back, but he's put in June 27th, 1839. And so that's just a week, less than a week, from when July 2nd, 1839, when Joseph speaks with High Council, the Quorum of the 12. And so you're getting a bigger picture when you use the Joseph Smith papers of what's going on. And so it was this incident that resulted in his getting booted down the year before Brigham Young died, because he had been the president of the Quorum of the 12 since December 27th, 1847. Brigham ascends to the throne of his own kingdom, and so that moved Orson Hyde into the presidency, as they're now in the Salt Lake Valley. It's interesting. Okay. All right. So, comprehendo. Tomo arigato. All right. Scriptures. So, February 17th, 1834, is the first High Council of the Church that is organized. And so it even talks about procedures for hearing cases. The president of the High Council renders the decision, and the appellate procedures set forth. These guys are the administration, not Brigham. What Brigham did in getting rid of Thomas B. Marsh and Orson Hyde and William Smith was wrong. It was this council that was supposed to do it. Brigham Young couped the church, but Joseph came back and the coup was suppressed. Alright, so this day, General Council of 24 high priests assembled at the house of Joseph Smith Jr. by revelation and proceeding to organize the High Council of the Church of Christ. This is not a stake High Council because of the people that are in it, which was to consist of 12 high priests and 1 or 3 presidents, as the case might require. The High Council was appointed by revelation for the purpose of settling important difficulties which might arise in the church, which could not be settled by the church or the bishop's council to the satisfaction of the parties. Notice, no traveling Quorum of the 12 missionaries, even though that wouldn't be organized until next year. But he doesn't give them that authority in Section 107. He doesn't. Joseph Smith June, Sidney Rigdon, and Frederick D. Williams were acknowledged presidents by the voice of the council. Okay? And Joseph Smith Sr., John Smith, Joseph Coe, John Johnson, Martin Harris, John S. Carter, Jared Carter, Oliver Cowdery, Samuel H. Smith, Orson Hyde, Sylvester Smith, Luke Johnson, high priests, were chosen by vote of the 24 to be a standing high council for the church by the unanimous voice of the council. Unanimous voice. He would go on to expand upon that need in Section 103 with the organization of the ministry of the quorum of 12 apostles and the 70 under the quorum of 12 apostles. And it was purposely screwed up by Brigham. Alright. That's pretty much it. We're done. Number composing the council who voted in the name for the church and appointing the above named councilors were 43 as follows: 9 high priests, 17 elders, 4 priests, and 13 members voted. High council cannot have power to act without 7 of the above named councilors. A majority must form a quorum to conduct business, which is repeated in section 107 to the traveling 12 and the 70. These 7 have power to appoint other high priests whom they may consider worthy and capable to act in the place of absent councilors. So there Joseph assigned them authority to appoint other high priests in absence of others. That whenever a vacancy shall occur by death, removal from office for sin, porn, or removal from the bounds of this church government of any one of the above named councilors, it shall be filled by the nomination of the president or presidents, sanctioned by the voice of the General Council of High Priests convened for that purpose to act in the name of the church. He's already got succession in mind here. But it's the General Council of High Priests in this particular case. So the president of the church, who is also the president of the council, is appointed by revelation and acknowledged in his administration by the voice of the church. See, this is where Brigham Young replaced the High Council and put him in there, because Joseph Smith is the head of the church and he put himself as the head of the High Council. And so when Brigham took over and Joseph was murdered, he did a little switcheroo, put his quorum of 12 apostles in the place of the High Council. Because many of these in the High Council did not go with Brigham. He assassinated Samuel H. Smith, so that's why he didn't go. Martin Harris went. He's a flip-flopper, because he was purposely kept out of what was going on, and I've done that. He stole 116 pages, but they're still making him feel like he belongs. But you notice he's just one person among the whole council. So, alrighty. That is that for that. And yeah, these are the ones who excommunicate. So there's the whole excommunication process here. Which verse does it start? I see 18. Let's see, 15. The accused. Let's see, 13. Whenever the council convenes to act upon any case, the 12 councilors shall consider whether it is a difficult one or not. If it is not, 2 only of the councilors shall speak upon it according to the form above written. But if it is thought to be difficult, 4 shall be appointed, and if more difficult, 6. But in no case shall more than 6 be appointed to speak. The accused, in all cases, has the right to 1/2 of the council to prevent insult or injustice. tell that to those Mormons who've been excommunicated for asking questions. And the counselors appointed to speak before the council are to present the case. After the evidence is examined, yeah, there's supposed to be evidence, it in its true light before the council, and every man is to speak according to equity and justice. And then the counselors who draw the even numbers, and in case you don't know what an even number is, they list them for you, are the individuals who are to stand up in behalf of the accused and prevent insult and injustice. Yeah, this was not done when he was removed, because that's how it was supposed to have been done. But it, as you see from Wikipedia, it wasn't done. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints went back and said, no, it was the voice of the church. What is So, yeah, there you have it. There's the High Council of the Church of Joseph Smith. And chaos that ensued.